speak up? Hello? Bueno. Hello? Bueno. Welcome. Bienvenidos to OJO Science Fiction. Ciencia Ficción. Featuring, presentando, special guest lecturer, locutor, Alejandro Rivera, director of Sleep Dealers. Hello? Hello?
Sci-fi! In one sense, the future is simple, right? It's inevitable and it just happens. Here we go, right? Time travel. But to look at the future, to actually see it up on a screen is something else, and it has to be produced, right? And there's almost a century-long history of producing the future on film. The first science fiction was in the early 1900s, A Trip to the Moon. The first sci-fi feature was Fritz Lang's Metropolis. But in that near 100-year history, there's a lot of things we've never seen. And those things that we don't see in the future are fascinating to me. And one of them is gigantic. It's the global south, the third world, the whole south half of the planet, which happens to be where the majority of humanity lives. We've never seen that future on film. But so anyways, the film that I made a year ago called Sleep Dealer is an attempt to do that, to look at the world from this kind of cross-border point of view, to look at the world as it is, that we're all going to the future together. And but like every vision of the future, it was constrained by budgets, it was constrained by lawyers, it was constrained by the gray matter in my skull. It had all these kinds of constraints. And one of the constraints on the film is that I'm not allowed to show it because I don't technically own it. I'm able to show only 8 minutes of the film, which is 480 seconds, or 11,520 frames. It's not a trailer, it's not the film, it's sort of in between those two, kind of a flailer.
La casa donde crecí, en Santa Ana del Río, Oaxaca, México.
Hold on a second. There's an intercept in the frequency.
I see it too. Trace the source.
Coordinates are
Pues necesitas a alguien que te conecte. Un película.
The first world is already in the third world, and that some people say, well, why do people come to the first world? Well, because the first world is already where they're at. The first world is already at the third world.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, you probably, in the beginning of the film, it starts in this little village in southern Mexico, in Oaxaca, and it was important to me that the process of migration, the desire to migrate, was not an eternal aspiration, a personal, private hope, but it was part of a systemic and circular flow of power and economics. And so in this little village in southern Mexico that you see at the beginning of the film, there's this dam, and the water that belonged to the town has been privatized. And so the desert, the kind of impoverished landscape is not part of nature, but is produced by transnational industry, produced by American corporate power. It produces the context that the migrant then flees. And so people from Mexico who come to the United States are coming in the context of NAFTA. People who come from El Salvador and Guatemala are coming in the context of the dirty wars. People who come from Chile are coming in the context of the CIA-backed coup against Salvador Allende and the dictatorship, and U.S. intervention in Latin America is the backdrop for migration north. And so migration is not a question of your heart and your dreams and your hopes. In most cases, it's a continuation of these kind of circular flows of history and power, and that's part of the metaphorical backdrop in my film, part of the dream, part of the exploration, and the fable. That's part of what